Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Gotham City. Wow, it's a dark, deserted city. So I figured, hey, I want to keep gaming. Let's play some more stuff. I'm kind of tapped out on MGS for tonight, but I've got some more gas in the tank for some more gaming. So I switched rooms from the relatively modern setup room to the retro setup room. So I'm going to be just chilling for the next hour or so, maybe more, we'll see. Playing some retro stuff, starting with Batman on the NES. But I'll be hooking up the Saturn afterwards. And by hooking up, I mean letting the G-Card handle it. Because I've got that now. So start with Batman here, and then maybe play some Sega Saturn games. Oh yeah. I've played this one before. Batman on the NES. And I'm, of course, emulating this on the Wii here. A very, very, very tough game, by anyone's measure. One of those classic NES Sunsoft soundtracks. What a track. I know I've recommended this before, but the band, The Advantage, did a couple albums worth of NES covers. This was on the second one, Elf titled. It was the opening track. Opening track, as a matter of fact, and it is an incredible cover. So if you haven't heard that, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It is very good. And as of a few weeks ago, this retro room is now hooked up via Ethernet, so there should be no more problems as far as internet goes. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 2 earlier. I definitely was. Now I'll be resuming that next Sunday. But for the rest of tonight, playing some NES, and then probably some Sega Saturn. The brutally difficult Batman game. Yes. Nerves of steel and reactions like a cat is what you need for this game. Batman leaps like a geriatric through mud. It gets pwned about as fast. Yeah, it's a tough game. Alright, I'll give this another shot. playing with a GameCube controller right now, with the D-stick, the directional pad, I should say, which is not making this any easier. Because I need some AA batteries for my Wiimote. Top tier NES game. It's a shame that Sunsoft didn't last into the 16-bit era, at least successfully, because they really were on the ball for a few years. They're really putting out some great games. Stick to the gun. Oh my god. Batman, you idiot! Oh my god. A few things more miserable control-wise than analog is digital, or contortions to an afterthought D-pad. Indeed, my friend. How right you are. I'll try using that GameCube D-pad. No, you're gonna move. You're gonna move before I come down here. Come on. Oh my god. Come on. There we go. There we go. Bingo. Welcome back, Alan, by the way. Thank you for joining me. I know this is late, but I just didn't want to stop gaming yet. Another sick piece of music here. Batman. Batman. I don't remember the guy's name, but one of the primary Sunsoft composers in this era went on to teach music at one of Japan's general universities. By God, he deserved to. Sunsoft, not only did they have killer compositional, like their musicians, killer compositional technique, but as far as technical stuff goes, managing the NES's limited sound channels, they really turned hay into gold, water into wine, so to speak. We got square wave and noise channel, alternating those two for percussion. Really impressive. Oh yeah. This is my favorite Batman game of them all. I'm not crazy about Batman, you know, in general, but this game is, out of any Batman game I've played, this is my favorite, including the Arkham games. But then again, I am pretty partial to gamey games, you know, versus walk and talk, cutscene heavy stuff. The Arkham games aren't bad, don't get me wrong, it's just, I'll take pure gameplay any day of the week. Oh, and some of the Ometsu FF composition sounded good or better than the orchestral versions to me. Terra's theme in particular, more emotive than the SNES version. With the SNES version, to me at least. I agree. So, some of you guys might have heard on YouTube, there's these like versions of those tracks where it's like, hey, I pulled the original, you know, sequence data from the SNES cart and I recomposed them using like the samples that they might have used with, you know, synthesizers of the era. Here's the thing, okay? They sampled those synthesizers and drum machines and everything. But ultimately, when it came down to it, when they were writing the music, when they were composing it, they were doing it with the sound chip specifically, you know what I mean? Like, so like Uematsu writing the music for all these like Super Nintendo Final Fantasy games. David Wise, he's writing the music for Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2. They sample the synthesizers, but ultimately, when it comes to the end game composition, they're doing it on the console's sound chip with that level of composition, with that level of compression, stereo balancing, all of that stuff in mind. That's the end game. They're writing it for the console. So ultimately, these guys, you can't just say like, oh, this is how it would have sounded if they, you know, could have, you know, if they had no limitations. You can't say that at all because, no, they wrote it for these systems. Those limitations were in mind, you know what I mean? The end game wasn't what it sounded like on the synthesizers beforehand. It's what it sounded like after the fact. All the compression when they were sequencing it using the built-in SNES sampler. Sorry, a little bit of a rant, but I feel pretty strongly about that. Oh yeah, there are a lot of YouTube composers that are equivalent of Blue Void Restoration. We really give them a lot of shit, don't we? For better, for worse. But yeah, you're right. I'm not gonna name names, but one guy in particular, it's like, yeah, I found all the original samples, but then it's like, okay, but what about, you know, your overall like volume mixing, you know? It's like you're really missing the forest for the trees. Oh god, gotta make the dangerous jump here. Yeah, this is like end game. I'm gonna save it right here. Last time I played this was really June 7th. Wow. There we go. Miserable lack of taste and inability to understand the sense of place or restraint. Maximalist and awful. Yeah, it's too bad, you know? Like I said, it's like, you got the samples, but you don't understand the art of mixing. You know? The delicacies of just the overall balance of a mix. It's like, there are instances where your mixer is just as important as an instrument as, you know, the rest of your setup. Alright, tough boss here. Pay attention. This boss is absolute horseshit, so I don't feel bad about saving here at all. Actually, yeah, get the saves. There we go. Bingo. No data to save. Okay. It's the Revenge of Shinobi school of boss fights. That is to say, garbage. I've been playing that quite a bit recently, actually. That game is, it's good, but it definitely has some boss fights, which are not so good. I think I'm going to be switching to another system here. Yes, indeed. That's what we're going to be doing. Forget about this, the Nintendo Wii here. The NES. It's time for some Sega Saturn. The game that I actually had advertised in the YouTube description. Let me just grab the disc here. Pop that in. There we go. Bingo. Looks like the OSSC is seeing it. Let me get my TV to see it. My monitor here. Come on. There it is. It's a G-SCART. It is really nice. By the way, I've mentioned this before, but that is Alucard, his voice actor, from Symphony of the Night. You can catch him in a few other games. He was the announcer in this game. He was also the announcer in Tekken 5. Maybe some of the other ones. I don't know. I didn't play much after Tekken 5. But yeah, that's him. This is Hang On GP 95. This is a very, very cool game with a really sick soundtrack.
Hang On GP 19.
A game I'm happy to say I have gotten all gold cups in. Oh yeah. So I bought the Sega Saturn in summer of last year, like June or so, after Smoking Spoon turned me on to some of the cool Saturn games. So I bought a Japanese Saturn off eBay from Japan, and the Model 1 Saturn came with 2 controllers and a couple games. Came with Virtua Fighter 1 and this game, Hang On GP 95. So now I've got a few physical Saturn games, and I've got a Fenrir, the SD card, you know, plug in the ODE on its way, but yeah. Got some bikes, all different stats. Look at those models. Oh yeah. So, in the off season for motorcycles, last summer was also my first year of riding a motorcycle in real life, so it all came together pretty well. But in the off seasons, which living in Maine is the majority of the year, I can play games like this.
The circuit race course is set up on a small island.
So I'll play my 3 favorite courses, which are number 1, number 3, and number 4. Which also, coincidentally, maybe or not, maybe not, have the best soundtracks. So, great music in this game. The bike sounds are a little whack, as you'll see in a second, but the music is good. Got a few different camera angles. Oh yeah. Get the Maui heads. What else could you ask for? I love this game. A little rusty, I haven't played it in a little while, so we'll see how I do. Pink Rider is always a tough one. Oh! I believe this game is compatible with the Saturn 3D pad, which I don't have, which is why my character looks so awkward tilting on his bike like this. But yeah, there's a 3D pad for the Saturn, which kind of looks like a alpha version Dreamcast controller, which makes sense, right? But it's got an analog stick. It makes games like this a little bit more sensible. The crash animation, yeah. It's no joke. It really sells it. Oh! You know, there's something weird going on with the bottom of the screen. It's just something they're trying to convey the sense of speed, but it's like the way the bottom of the screen is being drawn, where it's kind of like being sucked into a vacuum or something.
This is the final lap.
Yeah, first place. Oh no! The era of weird controllers, yeah. I will say, the basic, like, Japanese Saturn controller, which is what... It wasn't what they had in the US initially, but when they did the... eventually, they did bring it over and standardized it as, like, the second Saturn controller in the US. Is a fantastic controller. One of my all-time favorites for retro controllers. And I say that with no nostalgia because, again, the first time I was introduced to this thing was like 6 months ago. This controller is fantastic. Oh, one with a left-right split where the hemispheres can be rotated. I remember seeing a few like those. My biggest era of weird controllers was definitely the N64.
Hang on, GP 1995.
My parents would always try and I don't blame them, save some money, buy the third-party controllers for the N64. And some of them, I wish I had them because they are bizarre. You think the base N64 controller was weird,
Grand Prix race.
but
The circuit begins.
yeah, some of those N64 controllers were just bonkers. I remember one of them, it was like Super Pad 64, and the basic like silhouette, it's like, this is pretty reasonable, more so than the standard N64 controller. But then you actually go to play it, and it's just like, oh my god, this thing feels insane. This is probably my favorite track in the game right here. I'm gonna turn it up for me. Oh yeah. Listen to this music. The adrenaline, the rush.
Passing through the checkpoint. Passing through the checkpoint.
Sounds like RPG, like boss music or something. No!
Passing through the checkpoint. 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 This is the final lap.
Now we gotta at least hit third. No!
Goal.
Ah, 5th place. Pathetic. And I've hated almost every single third-party controller up until recently, excepting specialized controls like wheel sticks and light guns. Yeah. Analog sticks or tactile response is always terrible relative to the first-party efforts. Definitely. I would really rate the BitDo SN30 Pro Plus, by extension the Pro 2, which is superseded. Extremely good for 2D games. I haven't tried any of those. Analog is fine, but I prefer Xbox analog topography. Yeah, I haven't tried any of that stuff. I'm out of the loop. The Beyblade crashes are intense. They are, and I'm doing crap. But it has been a while since I've played this, so give myself an excuse in that regard.
The circuit will be the circuit race, the intricate circuit race.
Last one. Last race. I'll play something else.
Long new dwell.
Play a few more games, then I'll go make a burger, and then go to bed.
Get ready. Go.
Damn! Get a friend over and forced to play NGB. How'd that go? What difficulty? Kept falling down the trapdoor in the first level. I did too. I'm gonna be honest. I fell down that many times. You guys see the UFOs in this game, by the way? They usually hang out around the checkpoints, but you can catch some UFOs. Pretty funny. Speaking of NGB, last night I cleared Alma in Master Ninja, which was insane.
Passing through the checkpoint.
Alma 1. By the way, not awakened Alma yet. Hardest part of Alma is like finding the openings to actually do some damage. Avoiding her attacks isn't so bad, you know, the minions or whatever, but it's doing damage that's a problem.
Passing through the checkpoint.
My routine is basically to do, you know, flying swallow constantly until I get an opening. I didn't think I'd be able to do it, but I'm making my way.
Passing through the checkpoint.
Ugh.
Passing through the checkpoint. Passing through the checkpoint.
This game's kind of interesting. It's probably a memory saving thing, but a bunch of the tracks are actually, it almost feels like they're Lego style, like they're made up of the same pieces and just kind of like reassembled.
This is the final lap.
Oh. So here's a little discourse about this game, okay? Hang on GP 95. It seems like the collisions are determined more by speed than they are angle, you know? Like you can hit, if you're going like 100 kilometers per hour, you can hit a straight up, you know, wall totally perpendicular. And you'll be fine. But at about like 160, 170 or so, even if you're like at a relatively parallel angle, you will still crash and fall off your bike. But this was a pretty crap run. I didn't even make it to the leaderboard at all.
Make an entry.
Oh, I guess I did. Check this out. Ready? Listen. Hey. Requires specific movement behaviors to maintain line of sight for dodges. That's the problem with the minions. It gets out of control pretty quickly. You know, when you've got the imps running around. You know, you're doing like your
GP 1995.
the whole jump roll routine over and over again. It gets out of control pretty quickly. All right, let me pop out, hang on. Get something else in here. Yeah, the military base I'm not looking forward to. That tank fight sucks. I don't like that there's the invisible walls in that fight. That whole level is probably my least favorite in the game, honestly. Let's see. Let's play some Virtual Cop. I'm gonna pop in Virtual Cop and I'm gonna grab my gun. My light gun. This is so sick. I have 2 of the Japanese Saturn guns, and they are ridiculous. They are completely jet black. They don't even have like the orange tip at the end, you know? Like if I were to walk down the street with one of these, I would probably get blasted IRL by a real gun, by a real police officer. Because that's the way it is here in the United States. But no, this gun is this is really fun. Oh, and yeah, it doesn't seem to be any geometry considered in the crashes. Yeah, you can hit an angle that's almost completely parallel to you, and you're still screwed. I've got 2 of these guns, 2 of these Saturn guns. I could go totally akimbo, but no, we'll go just one. Like a real Virtual Cop. And again, this is the real disc here I just popped in. I actually just ordered what I've got here is one of the like weird knockoff like pseudo Saturn carts. I can switch between the 4 megabyte, 1 megabyte, and expanded RAM. I'd even open it up into the aluminum foil mod for it. But I've got a real Saturn 4 meg cart on the way in addition to a Fenrir. So, oh shit, I don't want to do that. So I've had a few hang-ups, you know, with easiest, so medium easy, sure, that's fine. By the way, this is going to be a little bit of a flash fest. So for those of you who may have epileptic tendencies, you do not want to watch this next segment. Just get my sights lined up here. There we go. Perfect. Get my gun aligned here. No, that's not right. There we go. That's not right. There we go. No. There we go. Sorry about that. I've been staying strong, avoiding the retro game collection mire. I've been tempted to cash out now that I have flashcards for everything, honestly. I mean, I can still play all these games and then make like a couple grand selling a bunch of cartridges and discs, you know? Why not? It's just hard avoiding the ephemera, you know? The physical stuff. So here we go. Virtual Cop. This is so sick. I gotta get the light guns for the PS1 and the PS2. There's a bunch of games I gotta play. Time Cop. Awesome. I wish you guys could see this right now. This gun. I'm going full Lethal Weapon. Freeze! Even works if you hold the gun sideways. Ooh. Try and be Mr. Cool with the aim here. I appreciate that you can kind of play this non-lethally. You can like shoot the guns out of your guys' hands. Justice shots. Virtua. House of the Dead is on here too. I gotta get that. Oh! Hold on. Sarah would be annoyed if they were to encroach any further. I hear you there. Fortunately, I'm in a situation right now where I don't have to worry anything like that, but I'm sure sooner or later I will be again. I sold out of MTG years ago because I fundamentally disagree with the company's policies and reprints. Yeah, I hear you. Never got too much into that myself, but I understand. I have to buy a replacement PS3 and can't find a sufficiently detailed teardown to decide on the best model. Seems to be either the Slim or Super Slim. From my experience, it's definitely the Slim. In terms of reliability, I would rank them Slim, the OG, and then the Super Slim. I mean, debatably in the second and third case, but the most reliable model is, without a doubt, the Slim. I speak from personal experience with that, having had all of them at one point. All right, let me really focus on my accuracy here. Take this up to 10. Yeah, that era of consoles was just like completely unreliable. I went through 3 or 4 360s, 2 or 3 PS3s. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, as far as PS3 goes, it's definitely the Slim. For the 360, it's either for the original model, the Jasper. You can look this up via the serial numbers to figure out which one you have. Jasper. And then for the Slims, it's either the Corona or something else. I can't remember. But a similar thing where like the last model they put out was just like junk. I had the Slims a baby them. Still need to acquire a third. Yeah, man, it sucks. The only reason I keep my PS3 around now is for some of the games that don't emulate so hot, as well as to function as a region-free Blu-ray player. So I started buying some Blu-rays, like European and Asian Blu-rays, and it's pretty easy to install Homebrew on the PS3 that will allow you to play any region Blu-ray. So like when I streamed Aguirre, The Wrath of God the other night, as well as some upcoming stuff we'll be streaming. That was really handy for that because I was able to rip from those discs because I have a European box set for those. Region 2. Oh shit! Wasted a hostage there. My bad. Check it out. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson here with his rocket launcher. Also, you got those orchestral stings. Orchestral stings. Excuse me. The stabs, as we call them in the industry. Heard a lot of that. A lot of 90s soundtracks. Ninja Turtles. Turtles in Time. Mortal Kombat. Oh yeah. A cynical corporate bastard mood. Yeah. The end of the gen approaches, they want you to fuck off. The new one. Yeah, that's right, my friend. I can't see myself buying a PS5. I mean, I've played a few PS5 games on a roommate's PS5, but I don't see myself getting one. You know, there's no really compelling exclusives yet. You know, the only thing I can think of is Final Fantasy 16, and I'm sure eventually that will come to PC, so who cares? and crank up my aim here. I have to say, I find it very strange that VR has yet to produce a rail shooter on par with the Saturn and PS era. Yeah, isn't that weird? I'd say I'm in the market for a VR headset, but it doesn't seem like there's a really compelling option yet at a decent price point that really has it all. You know, it's like Valve's set is like $1,000, which is just ludicrous, obviously. And at this point, is quite a few years old. Then you have something like the HP Reverb G2, which I was interested in. It's supposed to be like the highest resolution, you know, consumer headset available. But then the controllers suck, you know, and you're still dropping like $500, right? It's like, I don't want that. If I'm gonna dip into a VR headset, I want a good set of controllers too. I don't want to have to half-ass anything. And then you have, of course, the Oculus Rift and all that stuff, the Quest, and it's like, I'm not signing up for Facebook. Nope. Sorry. Whoops. And I think about it too, it's like my reasons for wanting to get into VR are not for wanting to play like new games. It's like wanting to play the same old games just in like new ways, you know? Like playing Half-Life in VR, playing Deus Ex in VR, playing Quake in VR. And it's like, it just brings me back to this thing where it's like, this industry is stagnating hard. Oh well. Alright. Epilepsy warning, big time here. I've got the machine gun now. Get ready. I feel like I have a tendency to do like the John McClane thing when I'm playing these games with these light guns. Like, kind of like duck, you know, duck my head under my arm, bring the shoulder up, do the lip curl. Like totally involuntarily. Freeze, NYPD! Hey, this isn't even my jurisdiction. Refuse to associate with the data mining pariah company. Yeah, me too. I hate them. I think Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg are pretty much single-handedly responsible for many of these social ires we've been dealing with for the last 5 years or so. Not the last decade. Why would I listen to a scientist when I can read my information off Facebook? What do doctors know? My Uncle Tony on Facebook knows everything. Sorry, I'm going too far here. Was interested in PSVR 2 before it was indirectly revealed to be wired. I don't necessarily mention wired too much as long as it's not too many wires, I guess. Pokemon Snap. Yeah. We've got an overrun of Pokemon on the island. We need you to take them all out. Damn, this is satisfying. Maybe I should get a webcam. I don't know. I kind of don't want to be on camera, but I feel like there are certain instances where certain games might be more fun for you guys to watch if you could actually see what the hell I was doing. At least in this case, where I'm popping caps with this awesome friggin' light gun. Automatic. Wired VR doesn't agree with my cats. Probably mine neither, but I keep my cats out of my gaming rooms. Better for worse. They want to get in there, but I say no, no, no. Ouch! I'm gonna turn the brightness up on this monitor. These guys are like popping out of the darkness here. Oh my god! Let me turn the brightness up here for a sec. Yeah, I've got this turned way too low. There we go. Herbie loves me too much. Meow's excluded. It's one of the reasons why I couldn't get to bed last night. So one of my cats really had to go outside to go to the bathroom, right? We were also experiencing a blizzard here last night. Okay. So I kept getting up, opening the window for him to jump out. But I'd open the window and he'd feel the wind and the cold. And he'd change his mind. Like, oh, maybe I don't want to go out there. So I'd close everything up, get back in bed. 30 minutes later, sure enough. Ow. Ow. Let me out, please. Repeat all night. Ugh. No, just a shot is if you shoot the gun out of their hands. Or otherwise hit them in some kind of non-lethal way. You know? So not shooting them in the face or the jewels. Magnum. Most powerful handgun on Earth. You could ask yourself one question.
Sure enough, you two.
Do I feel lucky? Well, do ya? Blow your head clean off. It's a great fight. Great game, man. Oh my god. Really nice balance of like shooting mechanics with like your traditional games kind of stuff, you know? Oh god, intense. My arm is starting to get real tired. Boom! Oh. Oh yeah, it's summer for us. We had torrential rain followed by hail and the lightning storm. Flooded the basement car park. Damn. It's too bad. Yeah, we got about 18 inches of snow yesterday with blizzard winds. Pretty cool, you know. As long as you don't have to worry about anything, you know, power getting knocked out or anything like that. You know, just hang out in a day, enjoy the sights and sounds. But again, I spent most of it sleeping, so ultimately it wasn't too fun for me. Last stage here in Virtual Cop, though. Here we go. La Nina. Not sure what good the shotgun does. Maybe expands your shot radius. Because everybody pretty much goes down in one shot anyway. But let's clear this game if we can here. Oh, shot the hostage in the face. I gotta get out of the States at some point. Not just to travel, but I mean at some point probably permanently would be good. %, not too bad. It's like I tend to lean on the firing wildly side of play here, so I don't mind. Not sure why these sausages jump out so much in the firefight. Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe they've got a death wish. But the hostages are forcing them out as meat shields, maybe? Get down! Oh no! Our last continue. Can we do it? Let's see. Taking out the Umbrella Corporation guys here. But Umbrella was behind everything. The body reactions to these guys getting shot is one of the reasons why this game is still so much fun to play. Like, depending on where you shoot them, they all have unique reactions, whether it be head, the arms, the legs, the torso. Axe Gang, Kung Fu Hustle, yeah. I gotta play Die Hard Trilogy again one of these days on stream. Try all 3 modes, maybe. Such an underrated game. I mean, it was very popular back in its day. It's a greatest hits title, but I feel like it definitely doesn't get its due, you know, these days. Magnum. Oh, bummer. The meat grinder. There you go. Hey, pretty close. Alright, let's see. Oh, first of all, let me unplug the gun. Play a little bit of something else before I call it a night here. Appreciate you sticking around, Alan. I'm not sure if everyone else went to bed or they just didn't get the memo that I was going to be continuing to stream. Let's see. Let's play a little Vampire Savior here. Maybe some of that 2D goodness that the Saturn was so good at. It's only half the games I have here in my Saturn library. We begin with V. Vampire Savior, Virtual Cop 1 and 2, Virtual Fighter 1 and 2. And then finally X-Men. Children of the Atom. Kind of a dumb impulse purchase I made recently, which I kind of regret a little bit, as it's a new Sega Saturn switcher that this guy from the UK made. Is it Alan's? Let me double check. Alan's Saturn switcher. Come on. This is why I bought the legit 4 meg Saturn cart. So I don't have to deal with this crap anymore. This friggin' pseudo Saturn cart BS. Oh my god, hold on. Yeah. Yeah, Will's console modifications. So I bought a proper 4 meg official Sega Saturn cart, as well as a Fenrir, which is the optical drive emulator, As well as this thing by Will's Console Modifications, Sega Saturn Switcher, which is going to let me use both my disc games as well as the optical drive emulator. So best of both worlds. Because normally with the Fenrir optical drive emulator, you have to remove your disk drive. So you can't use your disc games anymore. But with this, you can use both. There's a Marvel Capcom Saturn game too. Definitely worth it for local versus. Yeah. Yeah, Capcom's 2D stuff on the Saturn looks insane. And they're pretty much the ones all using the 4 meg cart. Like this here, Vampire Savior. You need to use a 4 meg cart to play. But this, Marvel versus Street Fighter. Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter is, again, another one that Spoon recommended that is just a really dope game. I don't have a physical copy of that because it goes for like $200 used, but I do have a burn copy. So this game came out in '97, and this is actually the last new Darkstalkers game that was ever made. Kind of crazy. I mean, the series was pretty popular, but it's just been like totally abandoned. Great soundtrack too. Kung Fu Wolf, the best. Yeah, I wouldn't spend $200 on any game, even if I loved it. I mean, that's just crazy. Especially in these scenarios where it's not like any of the original developers are seeing a penny of that anyway. You know? You're just like lining some opportunistic nerd's pocket. So, no way. It's kind of funny these 2D games like required more powerful hardware than the supposed cutting-edge 3D stuff. You know, Virtua Cop 1 and 2, those don't need 4 megs, but this all does. Totally. Yeah, it was like from PS3 era onwards, it was like Konami and Capcom were in a heated competition to see who could be a bigger disappointment. And Capcom unequivocally won. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, Capcom, they've got a bit of a redemption arc in the last few years. Really giving the people what they want, for the most part. Konami, though. You guys want some Castlevania NFTs? Like, as if, like, the pachinko machines and slot machines weren't enough. Nice combo there. things just seem to get lamer and lamer, don't they? As far as technology goes. Not to sound like a Luddite here, but... Man. No! Oh, wasted power up there. Tunneling to the mantle layer. Or going to the very core of the earth of shittiness. There we go. So yeah, no Darkstalkers games, but at least Morgan seems to keep showing up in all of the games. In fact, I feel like more people probably know her from Marvel vs. Capcom than Darkstalkers. And to be honest, I did too until I played this for the first time, again, for the first time this year. Oh shit. Ooh. Oh. Okay. I thought they would at least have some HD remakes to announce, but they went with the NFT option. Whatever would be the least possible amount of effort for the most gain. Pretty safe bet with Konami at this point. It's funny, you know, you look at it in retrospect, it's like, okay, first we're going to start farming out all these like legacy franchises to like low budget Western development studios, Sound Hill, Castlevania, you know, so we can like produce titles cheaper than they would cost in-house, right? And it's like, oh, let's all get on board with pachinko and whatnot. That's like really profitable in Japan. You know, that doesn't require a lot of investment. They do that. And then finally, you know, that's not doing so well because of various laws being passed in Japan and whatnot. Well, let's jump aboard the NFT train. The ultimate minimum for the ultimate profit. There you go, Lilith. Deal with it. Get out of here. So where they let indie team made their Getsu Fumaden roguelike like Castlevania Koi on the Cold. Yep. Yeah, got a pachinko. Wasn't there also some laws passed in Japan as well that severely regulated pachinko? Awesome stage, great music, great environmental assets here. Combo. Yes. No. Shadow Braid. Oh my god. Pwned. I really wish Konami would just sell off all those assets, you know? Just cash out, you guys. But that's not ongoing revenue, you know? It's a one-time sale. And it's like, would it really be in better hands? People like Sony or something, you know? Probably better than Konami at no least, but I dread like Castlevania being bought or Silent Hill being bought by Sony and then turning into like God of War, you know? These like walk and talk type games. This game, this town, it's so scary. Won't you experience it with me? Yeah, exactly. Netflix level, exactly. No! Ugh. It's just a lose-lose scenario, basically. There we go. Tedious, verbose, anti-Catholic rhetoric. Did you know that the Catholic Church actually did some bad stuff? You didn't? Well, we're gonna spend the next 20 hours elaborating on this in the lowest common denominator way possible. Look at this stage. Listen to this music. Okay. To get back on topic here. Whoever did the music for this, doing footwork about 20 years before it became popular. Just rip my chest open. cut my life in 2 pieces. Ouch. Yeah, I I agree. I don't really care what anybody believes as long as they're not infringing on my ability to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a Catholic, I'm not an atheist. I'd probably describe myself as agnostic, but I agree. The irony of somebody just going overboard, regardless of what it is, in terms of existential beliefs, telling me what's right or not, is annoying. Oh yeah. It's like, the thing that I find very amusing is like the resurgence of like Wiccan stuff, witchcraft, 21st century like witches. These like girls in their 20s spend all their time online. I'm a witch. I practice witchcraft. That's like even more embarrassing to me than the fundamentalist religious stuff. You know? Because it's equally as dogmatic, but it has that air of, like, edgelord, you know? Aren't I different? And it's just, ugh. Carl Sagan wrote a book in the 70s called The Demon World, and there was a foreword to it where he's basically unintentionally saying, like, I worry about a regressive slide back into superstition in the United States. People relying on crystal balls and the like, basically. Relying and believing less and less in science and more, you know, and all this dogmatic and superstitious crap. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but very relatable, but also very disturbing that he wrote about this, you know, in like the 70s or, you know, early 80s or something, and it's turned out to be, unfortunately, very much the case. It's put me in some awkward situations, to be sure. So my ex-girlfriend, at one point, you know, I'm like sitting in my apartment, and she started burning, I don't remember what it's called, just burning this like stick thing and like walking around the apartment, and it's like, I'm getting rid of the bad energy. And it's like, oh my god. Oh no. Gallon! The craft and just other dog shit from 90s, early 2000s culture. Oh yeah. Dark age again for sure. Yeah, we're in kind of the age of neo-feudalism, unfortunately. But instead of having a king to look to, we have international corporations. It's a lot harder to spread the wealth. The idea that everyone intrinsically deserves respect is a large problem. I think I'm fine giving everyone a chance. It's just to like to have to pretend that each idea is worth like hearing out, you know, is absurd considering some of the ideas that we're forced to be, you know, listened to or be exposed to. It's like an element of like coddling nature, or it's like anti-science, anti-intellectualism is like, yeah, just like pretend that this is like worth something listening to. Oh. Gallon, my evil half. Come on. Oh my god, he's kicking my ass. That's like the US race relations backslide. Yeah. New Zealand, we studied MLK and civil rights. It's bad here, Ellen. It's bad and it's getting worse. It's like there are large segments of the population who feel like we shouldn't be talking about any of that stuff at all. I want to get too political here, you know, past midnight on a Sunday night, but we have large percentages of the population who feel like we shouldn't be discussing anything that, you know, like critical race theory or whatever. It's like, you can't talk about the civil rights movement. And now we even have, there are parts in like the southern United States, I'm not making this up, where it's like, no, if you're going to talk about, you know, Nazi Germany, you need to talk about both sides. I wish I was joking. This is like more and more unmasked Nazi bullshit happening in the United States here. And it is insane. Let me make this very, very, very clear to anyone who may stumble upon this channel on YouTube, because there is more and more of it that I'm seeing. More and more people openly advocating for this fascist bullshit. If you in any way, shape, or form identify with Nazism, you can get the fuck out of this channel immediately, okay? Ludicrous that I even have to say that, but man, it's getting out of control. Because like people in seats of power who have direct links to white power organizations, it's just absurd. It's just disgusting. Anyway, there's Vampire Savior. Sorry, a little bit of a tangent there. And I don't want to end on a little bit of a downer. Jimmy Cannon, not familiar with him. Vampire Savior. This game definitely has a very, very cool soundtrack, for sure. Underrated series. Never caught any of them in the arcades though, but I do live in Maine, which for getting anything cool in the arcade, it was probably like 2 or 3 years. Behind. I remember seeing a Tekken 1 machine in like 2009 or something like that. 2007 maybe. Tekken 1 out in the boonies in Maine. Yeah, I was never gonna see anything like this in my area. Alan, we have a problem in Australia with tunes amplify up the US troubles. Faster. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the element of social media, where instead of people saying these things in like their community, and then people like maybe responding, like, no, dude, that's not okay. They find like-minded echo chambers, and then these feelings get amplified, exactly like you said. And we get to a point now where all evidence to the contrary is dismissed. Yeah, exactly like you're saying. Yeah, it's like it gets to a certain level where there's no facts don't matter anymore. It's like nothing you can present them with, if it's in any way contrary to what they want to believe, whether it be factual or not, they're just not interested. It's disaster. Yep, I agree completely. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what to do. Presented by Capcom. Good job, Capcom. Yeah, number one. Sound test. I'm gonna find one track in particular. That's a pretty cool track. I'll wrap it up with this. The sprites are just amazing. They really are. Yeah, Capcom, their CPS 2 and 3 work was insane. It's like it's all good, don't get me wrong, but from Street Fighter Alpha forward, it's all great. So Alpha 1, 2, and 3, Vampire Savior, Street Fighter 3, of course, it's probably the pinnacle. There's another one, it's pretty unknown, Red Earth, I think it's called. Of course, their Dungeons and Dragons games. Just all of these really, really awesome. Marvel vs. Capcom, all that stuff. All the X-Men games. Really, really, really awesome sprite work. This whole era was really fantastic. And again, I'm loving my Sega Saturn. I keep mentioning it, but I really give props to Spoon, because this wasn't a system that I was ever really interested in checking out. And they suggested, this and a bunch of games, and I did. And, not only now do I have this new system and a bunch of great games for it, but I also have many, many more to explore. It's a big game library that I still have yet to try out. So definitely going to be doing that, and for probably many of those, I'll be streaming them as well. So hopefully you guys will be able to join me for those. But I am going to wrap it up. It's been a long, long night playing MGS2 for like 4.5 hours. I'm playing this other stuff for a few more. So it's now past 12. I get a meeting in the morning I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to go make some food and go to bed. And hopefully my sheets are dry, because I didn't leave them in the dryer long enough, so I might be sleeping in some damp tonight, but we'll see. Alan, thank you very, very much for hanging out for this after party type stream. I appreciate it, my man. Did GG mate. No Tekken 2 is sad, surprisingly. Well, maybe next week. It is surprising, huh? I did have that on the brain. Yeah, maybe next week. We'll play more MGS2 and then some PS1 games, including Tekken 2. I'll be back on Wednesday, this February the 2nd at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe I'll be playing some more Hollow Knight. Maybe I'll put it up to a poll. I'm not sure. Probably be playing Hollow Knight, but we'll see. But hope you guys have a great rest of your evening or morning, day, depending on your time zone. And I will see you, hopefully, next time. And don't forget, you can join the Discord if you haven't already. Nice little chill community. I think you'll like it. But thank you again, Alan. I would love to see you break it down with some Ninja Gaiden Black sometime. Oh, yes, absolutely. So my plan with that is I'm going to finish this Master Ninja. Hopefully I'm going to finish this Master Ninja run in the next few weeks or so. And then after I do all the Metal Gear stuff, I think I'm going to do a stream of Ninja Gaiden. We'll see. Yeah, the missions... the missions are hardcore. I'm about 3/4 of the way through those. Those start to get even crazier, I think, than Master Ninja. So we'll see. But... yeah. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna go get some food. Thank you again, Alan, and anyone else who may have been hanging out or checking this out after the fact. Greatly appreciated. And until next time, take care. Adios.